Hello everybody, today we're going to talk about a time contrast. What means time contrast? When you compare past and future in your daily life, it is the way we comprehend and understand how the things change in different periods of time. For example, the time contrast, in time contrast you can use some time expression. The expression in the past tense that you can use is are a few years ago, in the past, in the 19th century and the 1960s centuries. In the present tense, you can use these days, nowadays, today, and this year. And in the future tense, you can use soon, in 20 years, in the future, in the next 100 years, and in a year. Remember, we can use the past, present, and future to show the difference between periods of time. Here we have some examples. 30 years ago, people didn't have smartphones. Nowadays, we use a smartphone to do everything. In the future, we might have smart glasses instead of phones. The topic that we're going to use today is transportation. In the past, people who needed to travel had to take the train. Nowadays, people drive their cars instead. In the future, people might have self-driving cars. The structure for past is time expression, subject, plus past verb, and plus complement. Here we have three different sentences and we have the different three colors of the parts that a structure follow. Sentence number 1. 100 years ago, people walked to go to the place. If you see the time expression is in black, the subject is in purple, the verb in past is in red, and the complement is in another color. Okay, for example, this color is more dark red. The sentence number 2 is, in the past, teenagers used to write letters to communicate with others. In sentence number 3 is, the past people had gold and silver to pay for things. Here we have two another sentences where you are going to find the time expressions and the verb. Sentence number 1. In the past, many used donkeys, horses, camels, and mules to move him or carry his things. What time expression we use? Yes, we are using in the past. And what verb we use? Use. Yes. Very repetitive. Okay, sentence number 2. Few years ago, some people were able to use elephants to move and carry goods. What time expression we use? Few years ago, yes, and the verb is where. The structure for present is time expression plus subject plus simple present or present continuous, we can use both, and plus complement. Here we have three different sentences and we have different colors to represent the different parts of the structure. Sentence number 1. Nowadays, people have cars and subways to go to places. Sentence number 2. These days, teenagers are using social media to communicate with others. And the sentence number 3 is, now people pay with cash, credit cards, and online transactions. That time is a very used thing that we are using these days. Okay, here we have two more sentences about time contrast and present. Sentence number 1. In this sentence, you need to remember, class, you need to find the time expression and the verb. But in this case, you are going to tell me what type of present we use. Sentence number 1. Nowadays, you find that local and international trade depends on the development of transportation, either whether land, sea, or air. Where is the time expression? Yes, nowadays. And here, what type of present we use? Yes, we are using simple present. Sentence number 2. Today, transportation is increasing the speed of transportation, which saves a lot of time, in addition to encouraging many people to travel and move from one place to another. What time expression we are using? Yes, today. And what time of simple or present we are using? Yes, present continuous. Good. Here we have the structure or future. Here we have two with different color the different parts of the structure. But here's a little bit different. Why? Because we can use three different auxiliaries to express times contracts. We can use will, might, and going to, and plus the verb. For example, sentence number 1, in the future, people might invent flying cars. Number 2, some more teenagers will use glasses and smartwatches to interact with others. And 3, in some years, people are going to use their fingers or face to face. That sounds good, no? Okay, class, here we have one more sentence in example of how to use time contrast and future. In the future, we'll have an up-to-make vehicles, rapid innovation in urban transportation services, unreliable funding for infrastructure and operation, and a possible change in international policies affecting trade, climate, environmental protection, and sources of energy. Sounds good now. Okay, class, here I leave some exercise. I let some exercise to you in order to practice and try to understand how to use time contract. Thanks for your attention.